The shuttle's emergency lights painted everything red. Commander Jarek stood at attention outside the medical bay, his pulse rifle held at a precise 45-degree angle, watching the sealed door where humanity's last hope screamed behind reinforced glass. The Zintheran delegation had been waiting in the observation deck for 3 hours. Protocol demanded he let no one pass. Protocol was about to shatter. The child's hand slapped against the glass from inside, small fingers spread wide, and Jarek saw the heat shimmer radiating from her palm. Princess Arya, 7 years old, the only human born after the plague, the only human whose cells hadn't turned necrotic and cold. She pressed her forehead against the barrier, and condensation bloomed outward in a perfect circle. "Please," she said, though he couldn't hear her through the soundproofing. Her lips formed the word with heartbreaking clarity. The door behind him opened. Jarek didn't turn. He knew the footsteps, the clicking rhythm of chitinous legs on metal plating, the soft displacement of air around a body twice human size. "Commander." Queen Shalara's voice resonated in harmonics that human ears weren't designed to process properly. It always sounded like 3 people speaking underwater. "The child appears distressed. Medical quarantine, Your Majesty, no exceptions." Jarek kept his eyes forward. Through the glass, Arya had started crying. Silent tears that caught the red emergency light and looked like blood. How long has she been isolated? 41 hours. And her parents? Dead. 17 days ago. The fever took them in their sleep. Jarek's jaw tightened. She found them when she woke up. Shalara moved beside him, her compound eyes reflecting the emergency lights in kaleidoscope patterns. She was magnificent and terrifying, a mantis the size of a grizzly bear, wearing the ceremonial chitin plates of the Zintheran throne. Her civilization had crossed 12 galaxies. They had seen the birth and death of stars. They did not understand children. "Your species confuses me, Commander. You burn with such intensity, yet you extinguish so easily." Inside the bay, Arya had started drawing on the condensation. Simple shapes, a circle, 2 dots, a curved line, a smile. "She's not sick," Jarek said quietly. "The scanners confirm it, but protocol says 72 hours minimum." Protocol. Shalara clicked her mandibles together, a sound like breaking branches. "Your people have followed protocol into extinction. 15 billion reduced to 40,000. Your homeworld is ash. Your colonies are tombs. And still you follow rules written by the dead." "The rules keep us alive, Your Majesty." "Do they? Look at her." Jarek looked. Arya had moved away from the glass, curling into herself in the corner of the sterile white room. She'd wrapped her arms around her knees, making herself as small as possible. The heat shimmer around her had intensified. The temperature readout on the wall display climbed 38 degrees Celsius, 3940. "She's spiking again," Jarek said. His finger moved to the emergency cooling control. "Don't." Shalara's primary arm shot out faster than thought, blocking his hand. "Watch." 42 degrees, 45. Arya's skin glowed with a light that had nothing to do with the emergency floods. Not red. Gold, like sunlight trapped under flesh. "Impossible," Jarek whispered. "That heat should kill her. Yet she lives." "Why?" "I don't know. Guess." Jarek's training screamed at him to maintain professional distance, but the scientist he'd been before the war stirred behind his eyes. "Humans are endothermic. We generate our own heat. Most species don't. Most of the galaxy runs cold." Continue. "The plague, it attacked our thermoregulation, made us hypothermic. We froze from the inside." He watched Arya's glow intensify. "But she's different. She's not freezing. She's burning," Shalara finished. "The question is why." The glow around her pulsed like a heartbeat. She walked back to the glass, and this time when she pressed her hand against it, the material began to soften.
"Not melt."
The transparent polymer rippled outward from her palm like water. Alarms screamed. Jarek's rifle came up automatically, then lowered just as fast. What was he going to do? Shoot a 7-year-old girl? "The barrier is failing," he said instead, hitting the comm. "Medical bay breach imminent. Requesting immediate lockdown authorization." Static answered him. Then a voice. Dr. Bades. "Chen from the bridge." "Negative, Commander. All systems are offline. Something's interfering with." The connection died. Arya's hand sank deeper into the softening glass. Her fingers disappeared up to the knuckles. Then the wrist. She looked up at Jarek with eyes that had turned the color of molten copper. "I'm lonely," she said, and her voice carried through the barrier as if it wasn't there at all. Shalara made a sound Jarek had never heard before, a high-frequency trill that might have been surprise or might have been recognition. "Commander, when was the last time you touched another human being?" The question hit like a physical blow. Jarek's mind flashed through memories. Handshakes forbidden. Embraces deadly. The plague transmitted through contact, through the warmth humans shared. They'd learned to survive by staying apart, by making themselves cold and distant as the stars between galaxies. 63 days, he said. Standard decontamination protocols after my unit extracted survivors from the Beijing arcology. And before that?
4 months, maybe 5.
Your species touches. I have read your histories, your cultures. Touch is essential to your development, your bonding, your sanity. You are a tactile species being forced to live as ghosts. Arya's entire arm had passed through the barrier now. The glass, or whatever it had become, rippled around her shoulder. She took a step forward, and her face entered the distortion. For a moment she existed in 2 places simultaneously, half in the sterile prison, half in the corridor. Jarek's finger rested on the trigger, not to shoot. To seal the medical bay's emergency containment. 1 button. The foam would fill the room in 3 seconds, entomb her completely, preserve her until they could analyze what was happening. Preserve her alone. "Don't," Shalara said again. She could be infected, mutated. This could be how the plague spreads now, or this could be how it ends. Arya stepped fully through, the barrier solidified behind her, sealing shut as if it had never been disturbed. She stood in the corridor, 3 meters from Jarek, close enough that he could see the tears drying on her cheeks from her own heat. The golden glow pulsed under her skin, visible veins carrying light instead of shadow. She held out her hand, palm up. "Fingers trembling, please," she said again. "I just want to remember what it feels like."